start your business, it can be super easy to follow someone else's template and look at what everyone else is doing. And while that can be helpful when you're just getting started, it can often mean we end up doing what other people think we should be doing instead of doing what serves us and lights us up. Hi, I'm Sarah Greener, and welcome to the Moxie Movement. I am super excited to have you here today, and I really want to talk about this concept of building a business from obligation and all the shoulds versus building a business from a place that serves you and lights you up. And I've done both. I've done both now. We started off with the lights us up kind of phase. We bought a business that allowed us to work on the water and work together as a couple and go snorkeling every day and kayaking. Sounds like a dream. Pre that, we'd been running a business that lit us up as well. We were living on a beach in Thailand and kayaking every day, and I was rock climbing and we would go scuba diving, and it was pretty magical, really. In fact, I feel like we've done this business thing backwards. We did the sit on a beach with a laptop. Not quite. There was not so many laptops involved, but we did that bit backwards. We did that first. And then we've had the normal businesses where we've worked lots and lots of hours and worked really hard. And now we're getting back to that place where we can be traveling and moving about and running our businesses from wherever we want to be. But we've done both. And there are benefits and negatives to both kinds of business. There are negatives to businesses that light you up. They can become pretty consuming, where you can let them become your life. And at certain seasons in your life, that's okay. I think about those early days for Johnny and I. It was okay because it was us. There were no little people, no mortgage. We lived on the boat. And so it was just us. And so we could do what lit us up, and we could do it together, and we didn't have anything else. We're very one-dimensional, no other interests. And so it was okay. And then we became a little more immersed in the business ecosystem. And so we started to look around at what people were doing and how they were doing it. And we started to research, and we started to follow the experts and pick up all the templates and the processes that other people were doing. And so we started to build out these kind of lists of things we should do in our business. We started to build out these things that we felt were a bit obligated to get done. We'd go away to conferences and learn all these amazing things and see these incredible things that people were doing, both here in New Zealand and abroad. And we'd come back with this amazing list of things we could do. To the point where, my team would be a little bit nervous. Maybe that's an understatement. Scared, maybe, of the list of things that Sarah was going to come back with that she felt we should do in the business, which was going to result in a lot of work for everyone. And so I can definitely see the benefit of both. Doing something that lights you up is amazing. And you can't just do the things that light you up all the time. And I'm really mindful of saying that now, because every now and then I would get people come to work with me and they go, "Oh, but Sarah, that doesn't light me up." And I'm like, I understand that, because there are times in our business where we can't just do all the lights me up things. Sometimes we have to do the things that serve us. There are some things in your business you have to do that pay the bills. And that's not because you should do them. It's just because it serves you today or serves you in the future. Because you don't pay your tax. There's a consequence to that. If you don't pay your bills, there's a consequence to that. And so sometimes we have to do some of the things that don't light us up. That might be making the sales phone calls. That might be doing the marketing. That might be doing your accounting. It might be navigating all the health and safety stuff we have to get through. Those things might not light you up, and they still serve you. And so when I talk about business now, those are my two frames. We want to look at, does it serve me and does it light me up? Because if we think about those two questions, pretty much everything we need to do that will move our business forward will fall into those two frames, versus the obligations and the shoulds that come from elsewhere. You should do networking. You could do networking, and I'd only network if it served me, so I got lots of referrals out of it, or I really enjoyed it, and ideally it does both. Because if it's not doing both, then maybe it's not on my list. You should belong to the business associations and the Chamber of Commerce and the local tourism groups and the local community groups, and you should give back to your community and do all this work. Yeah, you could. And if this season in your life you don't have the capacity for that, or local business association or your local Chamber of Commerce are not a good fit for you, then you don't have to. I've talked about it before that our ecosystem often doesn't work for us, right? The ecosystem doesn't work because a lot of the things that they do at really inconvenient times, if you're the primary parent, most of us are. Finding things that work for us rather than work for other people is really important. I never did the whole networking gig until someone set one up that happened at lunchtime. And I was like, yay, that works for me. I can make that work. I couldn't make the 6 a.m. or the 7 a.m. one work because I had a small human at home. So this is the difference between building to shoulds and obligations to serves and lights me up. And I could go on with so many examples of this. And the easiest way to spot it is you'll hear it in your language. So just like I talked about your language mattering, your language will give you clues for you and the direction that you could take your business. So when I say I should do something, it has that heavy sensation, that heavy feeling. It makes me think of the matron of our boarding house, like with a waggy finger telling me something I should do, that I should do my laundry or tidy up my cubicle. Should has this kind of heavy, you must do it connotation, versus if you just shifted the language on that and when I could do it, it gets more expansive, it gets a little more light, and it allows us to think about what are the other possibilities. And then I put that frame over it again. I could do it. Does it serve me? And does it light me up? And if it ticks those boxes, then I'm probably going to do it. If it doesn't light me up and it still serves me, then I'm probably still going to do it. Because remember, we're always putting the frame on. We have to be thinking about our business today in terms of where we want to be long term. I don't want to be jumping ahead 1,000 steps, and I want to be thinking about what are the steps I can take today that my business in 10 years will thank me because I'm going in the right direction, right? We don't want to be going in the wrong direction. And I think there's some super cool things that happen with the oh, I'm going to show my age. I was going to say, there's super cool things happen with age of the internet. When I was growing up, there wasn't the internet. Like, it came in when I was a teenager. And so you have access to so many more people's business frameworks and business templates and ways of doing things that I never had when I got started. Like, people are so much more freely sharing of their success today than they were when I got started. That just wasn't available to us. And now you can take someone else's template and copy and paste it into your business and run with it. What I want you to be super clear of, it's a great way to get started. And I want to make sure that you're measuring those templates against the life that you want. Because unless the person whose template you're following has the exact life you want to be living, remembering that you're probably not getting to see all of it, you want to be a little bit careful of how that shows up for you. Because you don't want to be trapped by your business. It's a miserable existence coming from someone who was there. Because I was building what other people told me I should be building. I was building it out of obligation. In my case, it was a perceived obligation, and I was still building it out of obligation. And when we build from a place of, here's what I want my life to look like, here's what I want my relationships to look like, here are the things that matter most to me, and this is what I want them to look like 10 years from now. And then those are the things that we say serve me, and those are the things we say that lights me up. And then we take action from that place. You're going to build a business that's far more aligned and feels lighter and is more fun and attracts the right people that you want to hang out with. And you can do this in any industry. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. You can do this in any industry. And even more so, it's going to serve you and the people you love and the life that you want to live. And that's why building a business that serves us, our version of success, matters so much to me. It matters to me that you are letting go of what everybody else has told you should do, and that you get to spend some time thinking about what matters most to you and building that life. Not what you're running away from, the life that you want to build, and building that life and that business, because that is a completely different proposition from the one that many people tell you should build. So I am excited to see you go through your list of shoulds, make them expansive into coulds, and then decide whether those things serve you and light you up or not. And then you can get rid of all the shoulds, because shoulding all over yourself is never a fun time, and start leaning into a business that really serves you and lights you up, because that is the way we build the moxie and become a glorious exception.